You're listening to the You and You podcast.
It's the You and You podcast. I'm your boy O King Johnny, OH_KING_Johnny, JONNY. Next to me is
It's your boy, son, the mommy lover. Your mother called me Trump because I only grab her by the booty.
Damn. Next to him is
It's your boy Rip. I don't know. Son messed me up. GreatestIamblog.com. Instagram greatest.I.am.blog.
and next to him is
Hey, it's Scott repping that You and You podcast. We got the hottest new podcast on iTunes and Google Play.
Facts.
And I got the hottest new book on Amazon,
Facts.
Hypocrisy in America, The Veil of White Supremacy, available on Amazon.com.
next to him is
He goes by the name of G motherfucker.
Deck.
next to him is
It's your main man, Littles.
And the same money we here when you giving to charity, you need to be giving the littles to give them some clarity.
Catch me on Instagram and Twitter, Littles1126.
Hey, and we all here. It's the You and You podcast. Y'all know how we do. Let's get into it. Let's give a big hand. It's Black Panther weekend.
Yeah.
We here.
Shout out to all my brothers and sisters, black, white, brown, yellow, don't matter. Y'all
Facts.
friends of mine.
Facts.
It's the You and You podcast. We want to show love to the Black Panther. We want to get a quick review from our review man, Littles, without him giving away the movie because I'm going to see it Monday. Go ahead, Littles.
Okay. I saw Black Panther yesterday. It was sold out everywhere. I had to go because I wasn't smart enough to get my pre-order tickets.
Right.
I got mine last minute. I had to see it at 6 o'clock at the Hoffman Center.
You bought your shit at the window?
No,
Old school.
I used the app. I used the app. But I had to sit with the common folks in seats that don't recline.
Oh.
I had to get up to let people get out. That's a whole nother thing. But anyway.
Got you.
It was exciting to see all those brothers and sisters on screen.
Yeah.
And they had a real story. They had a real backstory. And it was a lot of action. I don't want to give anything away. Even if you don't know anything about that character, you should go check it out just to support and see our brothers and sisters on that screen.
Yeah.
It's inspiring to a lot of younger kids who don't have that
Right.
to see those black characters on screen. But it's super exciting. Got some funny parts, a lot of action. And this is probably the best villain that Marvel's had since Loki.
Wow.
Michael B. Jordan killed that role.
Okay.
In my opinion.
This movie got a huge buzz.
Loki was the
it's-
man, though.
It was so many different races in that theater. It's like we all came together to enjoy a movie. We all clapped and cheered and everything. Even if you're not a comic book fan, go check this movie out. It's exciting. I'm not gonna tell you anything about it. Just go in there and just enjoy the movie.
Got you.
Can I say something real
ahead.
quick?
Say anything you want, brothers. Your podcast.
My wife carried me so she can see it by herself.
Oh, she didn't want you to interrupt it.
Look, fighter doing
I said, hey, honey, I want to go see Black Panther. She said, I'll do too, but I'm going to have a me day. You know how that feel?
Hey.
It's cool for her to have a me day, though. I
It
like the
is,
me
it
day.
is, It is. She needs to get away from you for a while.
That's a fact because I'm crazy.
Because I only spent a few hours with you and I need a meet day. Anybody else?
Yeah, I seen that Joan and I got pre-order tickets.
Tell them when you ordered
when
your
you get
tickets.
your
Man, I ordered them Jones soon as, what was that, in January?
That man was
Yeah.
not playing.
Man, I've been waiting for this movie for a minute. The moment I seen him on Civil War, that's when I was like, man, this is my favorite comic book character.
You wore your costume, right, when you went?
I wish I had one. I would have wore. If I had a mask, I'd have
Oh,
wore.
they
it.
was in costume.
But
You were
man,
Michael B. Jordan.
in that movie theater, the atmosphere. When I walked in the movie theater, like they had all the the kids working in the movie theater, black kids. Man, I've gone to that theater a lot, and this time like everybody was happy. Everybody was chipper. They was greeting. They was asking you how you was doing, telling you get home safe. All that, man. It's just the
beautiful.
atmosphere around it was just amazing.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And
I like that.
just the movie, like to me, the messages and the visuals and just the sounds was even better than what the movie was. The movie was great, but just all of that, seeing it come together was just amazing. I ain't gonna lie. At the end of the movie, I started to get emotional because
Not before bed, was it?
I was seeing just the impact, just like what you would say a lot of times about your kids, Greg, when you would talk about how the only thing that they know about the president was Barack Obama.
Right.
And I was just thinking, I was like, these kids seeing this image And knowing that these images are going to be in the future, it's going to just allow them to have no type of mental limitations. You know, we don't have as many mental limitations as our parents and grandparents had, but we still have mental limitations because of the things that we know that have gone on in this country. But just with the kids in the future and them saying this, I started to get emotional because I was like, I felt at that moment, I was like, man, shit is going to change. Shit is going to change in the future, whether we say it or not, but shit is going to change.
And, you know, we should just start speaking that.
Yeah. And this was just, it was a beautiful movie. I mean, it was just a beautiful movie.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Go ahead.
You were speaking of
want,
sounds.
brother.
What did you think about the Black Panther soundtrack?
We're going to jump right into it, huh?
Right into it.
Let's do it.
The Black Panther soundtrack. Okay, let me start off by saying I'm a big Kendrick Lamar fan. So
Disclaimer. You know what that means.
It's something bad.
I was anticipating this soundtrack because of who I know Kendrick Lamar to be and the albums that he's produced in the past.
Okay.
I understand why a lot of people liked the album and were excited about it when it came out. Everybody was talking about the album is great, it's fire or whatever. I understand because of the momentum and the gravity around the movie.
Gotcha.
But in my humble opinion, it's just my opinion, I thought the album was whack.
Dang.
The album was whack. And
Okay.
even after seeing the movie, I thought the album was even more whack.
Wow.
It's not, and I'm gonna just say this right now. So, don't. Let me just get all this out, and then we can debate it. So, the album had good songs on it. I won't deny that. It had good songs on it.
Okay.
Like I really enjoyed the two singles that's out. The one with Kendrick Lamar and SZA, and Kendrick and The Weeknd.
Okay.
But I will say the one with the Weeknd was a little bit typical because it was basically a Weeknd song. It just sounds too much like The Weeknd.
Okay.
So I made a damn talking points for this. Made some talking points. All right, so I felt like a lot of the songs on the album had no substance to them because I felt like this movie was very impactful to our culture and the importance of it. And I felt like I just from knowing Kendrick Lamar and how he did past albums, I just knew this was going to be like on point.
Or like Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah.
So that's what you were looking for when you heard thought the album was
Pretty
coming.
much, yeah.
Gotcha.
So, and then just to go back and think about other soundtracks that I've really enjoyed. So it's three soundtracks I want to point out. It's the American Gangster soundtrack that Jay-Z did.
Okay.
It's the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack that Babyface did, and it's the Trouble Man soundtrack that Marvin Gaye did. So these three soundtracks, okay, compared to the Black Panther soundtrack, and I don't want to necessarily compare them as far as musically, but I'm doing it based off of the importance of the content as it relates to the movie. So the Waiting to Exhale soundtrack, I'm a big Babyface fan. So that soundtrack, a lot of the songs in it related to the movie, and a lot of those songs were played in the movie. Same way with the Trouble Man soundtrack. It was a lot of the scores that was on that soundtrack were put in the movie. And if I can really compare one of those three soundtracks with the Black Panther one, it would be the American Gangster, based off of it being a rapper doing the soundtrack.
Okay.
So the American Gangster soundtrack, Jay-Z basically did that based on how he saw the movie in his eyes as it relates to part of his life as well. So I thought that was a brilliant soundtrack because each song was basically made off of a scene of the movie or, a point in time of the movie. Gotcha. So that's how I was looking at it or anticipating the Black Panther soundtrack to be. Gotcha. So the way I felt about it, like, okay, it was some of the songs in the Black Panther soundtrack, had, African beats, and, some of the raps and stuff was like call and response, some of the things that come from our culture. But I didn't think that was enough. I thought a lot of times that a few of the songs were a little bit too commercial. I felt like Kendrick Lamar dropped the ball and made a lot of commercial songs. And like when you look at certain songs, like it was the typical hip hop braggadocious type stuff going on in some of the lyrics. So I felt like the soundtrack should be painting a picture of the movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I just expected more from him, and like Greg pointed out, the Pimp a Butterfly. Like I expected more from that. So, like they basically said Kendrick Lamar was a curator of the soundtrack. And when I think of a curator, you think about art shows and stuff like that. They bring multitude of artists together, and put their pieces together for a show. So, I didn't think Kendrick Lamar should have been called a curator of this soundtrack. I felt like he could have had original songs, but he could have also added timeless songs from the past that dealt with some of the scenes and stuff that was in the movie. Because the movie, without giving anything away, the movie had a lot of messages in it that deals with our culture. So I kind of felt like when Kendrick Lamar, when he was wrapped up into, when he was doing some of his verses on his song, I was like, this is the mindset that I'm starting to get in with Kendrick. I feel like he's falling into the J. Cole space where J. Cole started to get so good, he started to fall off. If y'all understand what I'm saying. Like J. Cole, he started, I don't know if you can necessarily say feeling himself, but you saw the transformation from J. Cole from the point in time when he came out to where he at now, the way he looks and kind of like the content. His last album wasn't that good, and I kind of feel like Kendrick Lamar's falling in that same space. Like the flow he's using. If anybody's familiar with what's that song, the Travis Scott song? What's the name of that one, Littles?
Soundtrack? On the soundtrack?
No, the one previously.
Goosebumps?
Goosebumps. He's using that flow basically the whole time in that soundtrack to me. And I feel like he's falling into that point where he's using that flow the whole time, and it's kind of like a continuous thing of you hearing the same thing from Kendrick, the same sound from him. I feel like it's getting old, but like I printed out the damn lyrics when I was at work. Like some of the stuff just threw me off. Like with some of these songs, like it was one song called X with Schoolboy Q, 2 Chainz, and an artist named Saudi. The song was cool. It was cool, but
not Rap Saudi.
Right. I don't feel like this shit should have been on the album.
Y'all got jokes, huh?
This movie was too damn big to have some of these songs on there. Like Schoolboy Q, like some of his verses, he was talking about jewelry on Windex, whip it 80 on my Rolex, Maybach Benz. Like what?
Bars.
Like what the fuck? I'm like,
I think that was bars
like,
too. Though.
Bars.
Yeah, I'm saying it was cool. It's a cool
But you said
song.
it doesn't-
I get what
it
he's
doesn't-
saying.
Yeah, I
It
get
doesn't fit what
the
they're
imp-
trying to do.
The impact of the movie was too damn big to put this type of shit on it. The songs were cool. I'm not going to sit here and say that the album wasn't good. The album was good if it wasn't a Black Panther soundtrack. And even if it was just a Kendrick Lamar album with some features on it, I feel like it still would have been whack just based off of what I'm used to hearing from Kendrick Lamar. I feel like this would have been his worst album if it was just his album, not just a Black Panther soundtrack.
Can I respond to that real quick?
Yeah, because I'm
All
pretty
right.
much finished.
So I looked at your pad, so I know you was finished. So you brought up Jay-Z soundtrack, the American Gangster.
Yeah.
When you listen to American Gangster,
You ain't
is
never
that
seen
not basically, huh?
You ain't never seen the movie.
I did see American Gangster, and I listened to American Gangster.
Okay.
So that's why
Probably
That's-
one song in
that's
particular.
no Nick. I like. First of all, I think American Gangster is one of JC's best albums.
Continue,
agree.
continue.
Definitely.
Okay, so
Well,
anyway,
for the reasons he said it though.
okay, right. I hear what he's saying, but what I'm saying is, Jay-Z was the perfect person for American Gangster,
Right.
because he can rap about
Exactly.
what
Lifestyle.
he was going through.
Yeah.
Right.
So for
Exactly.
you to, I feel like you put too much pressure on Kendrick because of the way his his second album was.
I don't feel that way.
I think that's what I think.
Well,
if
is it possible
if Tupac would have did this soundtrack and put this shit out
God.
there,
This nigga, I'm not. Hey, this conversation is over.
Let's move on to the next segment, please.
At some point, you knew it was
Let's
coming.
leave it.
Nah, let's let him rock. Let's let him rock.
I'd have said this shit was whack, and I would have been disappointed as hell. I'd have been like, why would you put some shit out like this?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From me knowing who he was.
I'm gonna mute your mic. Right
No, bull. He's lying.
Quick though, real quick.
Go ahead.
I was waiting on this review to see where he was gonna go with it.
Okay.
But I see what he's trying to say about the whole direction of the soundtrack. But I feel like the soundtrack was great when it comes to just songs.
Yeah, I
Music.
agree with
Just
you.
music-wise.
I agree
Music-wise.
with you.
Because I feel like it had the rap songs, it had the R&B
Yeah,
songs.
I
It
agree
even
with you.
had the African
Yeah, the
kind of
African-
chants
yeah.
and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I get what you're saying about
Yeah.
the direction. That you wanted more of like bring some old school songs in there that kind of
Yeah.
relate to.
If he was going to be
stuff
called a
that was happening.
curator, then it should have been more of a curation
Right.
of what the movie was about.
Right, but outside of that, I think
Yeah,
Kendrick put a great CD
Yeah,
together.
I thought it. Yeah, I thought it
Like,
was
I don't
good.
feel like he falling off
Yeah.
and all that other stuff. I just feel like it was a great CD commercial wise, but
Yeah.
it wasn't as deep as you wanted to be
Yeah.
towards
Right.
the movie. I get it.
I get
So
it.
do you feel like Kendrick and TDE made this album and then saw the movie? Did they like made
Right,
it?
that's probably
made
what
it
happened.
first.
That's what I'm.
I was definitely about to ask that.
I
though.
don't.
Good
I don't
job.
think so because, like I said, I printed out the lyrics. So after seeing the movie, I went through the lyrics again, and I saw references to the movie, but I still feel like it was too commercial. And
Rep
they coulda
study.
did
I think he
more.
was too. I think he was caught up on being commercial.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
because
thinking.
it was such a big platform.
Right.
It was
You didn't
Marvel.
wanna-
It's a movie soundtrack.
Yeah.
right, but you don't want to kind of make it that
Yeah.
for other people.
But I was feel
other
like
people
shit.
just
If
might
the
just wanna
movie,
listen.
Gotcha.
the movie was that way, fucking make that soundtrack the
Facts,
same
that's
damn
true.
way.
So you just
Right.
wish it would be more in tune with what we saw on the screen.
Yeah,
You're not saying that the lyrics and the songs.
Oh
are
no,
whack.
It's more Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah, I like the songs.
Right.
They
Yeah.
There's some good songs
See, I'm
on
the
there.
complete opposite. I
Yeah.
love the soundtrack, and I hate To Pimp a Butterfly. I listened to
Yeah,
it once, and
I know you
Wow.
did.
I never listened to it again.
Wow.
Like if I had a CD, I would have tossed that shit out the window doing
Yeah,
six.
I
you-
remember you saying
I
that.
hated
So,
that.
Little,
Yeah.
you like Kendrick's first album better?
Well, I mean,
Me too.
I like his first album better, too.
I gotta be technical. Kendrick's first album is called Section 80.
Yeah, Section 80.
Oh,
This-
okay.
Oh, okay.
The one that put him in the mainstream was
commercials,
Good
yeah.
Kid, Mad
Yeah.
City.
Yes.
I love both
that's
of the
a
first
great
two
album.
albums.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate To Pimp a Butterfly. He definitely brought me back with Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
He needs to do more like first, second, and fourth. 'cause
Yeah.
I-
Well,
that-
that's why I said it was my opinion, because y'all know how I am. Like,
Right.
I'm not as blackety black as Scott,
Right.
but I'm.
But you expected
Yeah.
that to be.
you expected a lot more.
Yeah.
You expected a lot more because of the movie and how
Yeah.
big the movie
I
is
get it.
and who Kendrick is.
right.
I get it.
That makes sense.
And shout out to Georgia Smith. She got a dope song in there. She's real dope.
Shout out to her.
Yeah, it was
Shout
some
out
good,
to Future, man. 'Cause
It was
Future
some good
killed
songs
it.
on there.
Really?
yeah.
What?
Oh no,
Really?
Oh, what song?
What are you talking about? Drugs
Future.
on the Black Panther man?
Look it up.
The X jump.
Ice JJ
I thought
Future.
Ab Soul did a good job on the song that he was on.
Ab
Ab
Soul.
Soul.
I think 2 Chainz kills every feature he's on.
Future.
It was I definitely enjoyed the intro, the Black Panther intro that Kendrick Lamar did. Yeah.
That's tough.
All right. That's some good commentary. Scott, I guess you haven't heard it yet.
I just heard like the first 3 songs.
Scott still
I ain't heard it
listen to
neither.
cassettes.
I haven't
So
heard
don't worry about
anything
it.
of it.
Right.
But
He still use cassettes.
but I did hear the Above the Rim soundtrack.
Hey, why you joking? That's one of the best soundtracks.
One
It
of the
is.
best.
It's
One of
solid.
the best. But moving
8
right
Mile.
along,
didn't say it was the
in
best.
honor
It's one of
of, I guess, Black History Month, Scott want to give us a little
Blackity black.
some blackity black.
Well, hey, look, here on the U&U podcast, we pride ourselves on giving you information that you can't get nowhere else.
Even though we call unproductive.
That's true. We are unproductive and unapologetic at times.
Facts.
That's
But
on. Yeah.
As Rip said, I am blackety black. So look, we're not gonna talk. Look, y'all know about Harriet Tubman. Y'all know about Dr. King.
Yeah.
Y'all know about
Right.
Frederick Douglass.
Yeah.
Y'all know about
Yeah.
Malcolm X. We're
Yeah.
gonna give you stuff y'all don't know about. And just building on what we was talking about, shout out to the real Black Panther, Huey P. Newton. Today's his birthday. He was born February 17th, 1942. Today's his birthday. Shout out to you, Huey P. Newton,
Shout out.
co-founder of the Black Panther Party.
Right this up.
Look, my man Rip hit me up and asked me to come up with a couple Black history facts that most people may not know. So I said, no problem. The only difficulty I had was coming up with some topics that I felt like was appropriate for the show.
Okay.
So I feel like I came up with a couple things that are appropriate for our audience.
Okay.
First of all, Black history facts that most people that they're not going to teach you in school. The first Black agent hired by the FBI, 1919, a brother by the name of James Wormley Jones. First Black FBI agent, he was hired to spy on Marcus Garvey.
Wow.
One of
James
your own.
J. Edgar Hoover,
Beyond people.
Be
who
your
was
nigga.
in charge of the FBI, he was obsessed with destroying Marcus Garvey. Not because Marcus Garvey was a criminal, not because Marcus Garvey was leading a criminal organization, not because Marcus Garvey was even speaking out about white people. Marcus Garvey's message was, Black people, let's come together, let's improve our condition, let's build businesses, let's work together, and let's not accept help from nobody else. Marcus Garvey's position was things that must be done for Black people must be done by Black people, and he was specifically hard on Black men. He said, I don't want to take no money from no other group. I want Black men to come together, and I want Black men to work together, and I want Black men to improve the condition of Black people in America, and that horrified James Edgar Hoover and the FBI, and they went on a mission to destroy Marcus Garvey. Wow. And that led them to hiring the first Black FBI agent. No disrespect to this brother, but the only reason he was hired was because they wanted him to spy on Marcus Garvey.
Wow.
Second thing a lot of Black people don't know. This is a fun fact.
Okay.
I got a fun fact for you.
Okay.
How fun is it going to be? I don't know about you.
Right. This better be fun.
That's good work. Many people have heard of the novel Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Okay.
I never heard of that.
All right, it was.
went to Baloo.
It's okay.
That's true.
Most people heard of it, even if you never read it. Uncle Tom's Cabin is a very popular novel written by Harriet Beecher Stowe. A lot of people. Harriet Beecher Stowe is a white woman. A lot of people don't know the real. If you Google the real Uncle Tom's Cabin, Rockville, Maryland, the real Uncle Tom's Cabin is actually off Old Georgetown Road in Rockville, Maryland.
Okay.
All right, the real Uncle Tom's Cabin. Uncle Tom's Cabin is a novel written by Harriet Beecher Stowe. It was based off of an autobiography of a real slave who was enslaved in Rockville, Maryland.
Wow.
She read his autobiography and she wrote a novel based off of it, which went to sell millions of copies, became very popular. When I was in school, I'm an old man. When I was in school, this was required reading. It may not be required reading for everybody else, but if you Google it, it'll come up. They actually turned it into a museum. If you're in the DMV area, you can go visit the real Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Wow.
Another quick one I got, since everybody's talking about the Black Panther movie, a lot of people may not know that Black Panther was Marvel's first Black superhero, not Luke Cage. Luke Cage came in 1972. Black Panther was created in 1966 in the height of the Civil Rights Movement. We all know he named him Black Panther because of the Black Panthers. Here's a fun fact you may not know. Stan Lee did an interview. He said he made the Black Panther character from Africa because at the time, people in America was so racist, they would not accept a black superhero from America. But they would accept a black superhero from Africa. So that's why he made the Black Panther character come straight out of Africa and not America. We can move on.
And you heard it here
Lord.
first at the You and You podcast. We are not all shits and giggles. We got a little bit of knowledge on
got
this.
one.
Scott is the Scott is the superhero black activist. Like, what is
I
going
got a
on?
Black History, John.
Oh.
Go ahead, Littles.
It's super quick.
Okay.
There's a movie coming out March 9th called A Wrinkle in Time.
Okay.
Starring, I think Oprah Winfrey's in it.
Oh, I won't be
Oh,
watching
no, I
it.
won't be there.
John is not watching.
It's a fantasy movie based on the best-selling book. It's like a
Okay, I
it's for
seen a
kids
preview
movie.
for that.
The thing is, the director of the movie name is Ava DuVernay, and she's the first black woman to direct a movie that had a budget over $100 million.
Damn.
So it's a whole bunch of special effects in there, and I believe she directed the
13th.
Boys in the Hood.
and not Boys in the Hood. Did she direct? She didn't direct the Martin Luther King joint, did she? Was that her? No. Selma? Is that her?
Nobody seen that shit.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
her.
okay.
That was
Yeah,
her.
Sound.
Shout out to her. Yeah. You want it, Littles? You want
There
it?
you
You
go.
want it? You want
Yeah,
it?
so shout out to Ava DuVernay. I hope everybody supports her movie that comes out March 9th. Like
Yo, she's
everyone
dope.
else's.
Cool.
She's
Support
dope.
that too.
And I also read, I didn't get a chance to fact check it, but there was a black woman that was behind the Matrix movie that's actually suing.
That was deemed to be fake.
She won.
She
It's deemed to
won.
be
She
fake.
won.
It's deemed to be fake.
Wow.
Fake. Snopes. It's fake. It's bullshit.
It's fake.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's not real.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Oh,
It's
okay.
not real.
Okay,
Well,
okay,
Hey,
okay.
there
Can
you
I-
have it.
That was
Scratch
fast.
Can I shout somebody out?
Go ahead.
Have anybody here seen the Drake video called
Yeah.
God's Plan?
I
Yes.
meant to bring that up. I was
Yes.
hoping everybody saw
Look,
it, but I ain't.
listen,
Bits
the
of it.
man
Last video I
took
seen
a
was in the
video.
club.
It's no. I
50
think
Cent.
this might be the hardest video ever made by a rapper
Okay.
ever.
Tell them why.
I'm gonna tell you why. The video starts off. It says
Pac's in it.
Rip would have brought this up a long time ago.
Tupac
But look, the video starts off. It says this video budget was $980 million or something, right?
Are you
No, not
serious?
that big.
Close to $1 million.
No,
Close to a million.
980.
You said
Million.
980 million.
I forgot. I don't know what exactly. I just watched it today.
He said,
You know that nigga dyslexic.
people he just said. He just said 980 million.
That's what I said.
I
was like,
apologize.
damn.
980,000. I'm sorry.
Yeah, close to a million.
Just say
Close to a million.
Okay.
I'm so- I apologize to the
all
people
right,
that's
bro.
listening.
We all
But
fucking
what
retarded.
he did was he took the whole budget and went and
grocery
gave
store.
the money. Nah, it wasn't just the grocery
It
store.
wasn't just a grocery store.
He
But
went
he-
everywhere.
Yeah.
Like he went to families that was like struggling, and he gave money to people that needed help. I to
gave
me
all- he
that was
gave all the
the
money
best.
away.
And as he was doing the video, they showed him giving money to people.
In Toronto or all over?
It was
That was in
Miami.
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 That's what's
So
up.
they showed him giving money to
That's what's
people,
up.
right?
And the
But
parts
as he was giving money to
Canadians
people,
don't need money.
who?
Canadians don't need money.
Anyway, as he was giving money to people, right?
They use pennies.
The lyrics, you're not gonna get me. Listen, the lyrics of the song made sense to the people that he was giving money to, because if you watch the whole video, at the end he actually talked to the people and told them why he was giving them money. So everybody needed to go
Yeah, it
and
was a
watch
cool video.
Drake God's Plan for real. Seriously.
And before I came here today, since we on it, I was listening to a clip talking about what's my man that did the rebellion? Drake. No, I'm drawing a blank.
Did a rebellion.
Did the rebellion? They made the movie about him recently.
Nat Turner.
Nat Turner.
Okay.
They was saying the part that they always seem to leave out about the Nat Turner story is when he was on the run.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was on the run in Virginia, he basically basically made a tourist site out of the area where he was hiding at, and he was with a tribe. I forget the name of the tribe, but it was an Indian tribe. And they posed the question. They said, "How was Nat Turner able to hide amongst a tribe
Exactly.
of Indians?"
Maybe because they look like him.
Because they look just like us. And that's back to my point that I always said. We are the American Indians. But anyways, to You and You podcast, y'all know how we do. Rick, you
Facts.
got a post first topic of the show. That opening was awesome, y'all, by the
Hey,
way.
I
No,
got
bro.
one more review. The Nipsey Hustle jump.
There
The
you go.
victory lap.
I listened to that.
Man, that
Hey.
jump
Yes.
is fire.
Hey,
Nipsey
listen.
is fire. Shout out to Nipsey.
Hey, listen.
He
I'm gonna
doing
get
his
that
thing.
jump 4.5 shots.
Yes.
I
Hey.
agree. 4.5.
I'd agree.
4.5
That joint is
shots.
fire.
All right,
Nipsey
listen.
is rapping on this.
I ain't giving them no shots because I'm blood gang.
Lord have mercy.
But I'm gonna get a Black Panther movie 5 shots, and I'm gonna get a soundtrack 3 shots.
Three is kind of big.
That is big.
I'm giving
True.
the movie
Pause.
5 and the soundtrack
Pause.
4.
Woo.
Also, I agree with the 4.5 for the Nipsey joint.
Woo. Hold on. You say you giving the movie 5 shots, brother?
Yeah,
That's
that's a beautiful
We
movie.
never gave nothing 5 shots before.
Right.
That's must see.
At the bottom.
Okay.
It's must see.
Hey.
Waves with a Z,
Okay.
not a S.
No bullshit.
See it in the theater, nigga.
Bootleg
Right,
ass.
not on your phone.
Right. Oh, bootleg ass.
All right, well, there you have it.
Hey, I'm going to see the movie tomorrow. I don't have children, but I'm taking 2 black
Ethiopians.
children with me.
I'm going Monday, and I'm not taking my children because I need some me time. Go ahead,
Some
Rip.
me
Post.
time.